Why, hello there. My name is Ronn Perea, author, and we're here in Old Town Plaza because right across the street is Treasure House Books. Old Town Plaza, as you probably know, got started around 1706, and from this square, Albuquerque has grown tremendously. So I'm very proud to have my novel, Elsie and Elsa, at the Treasure House Books. Why? Because it was voted one of the top independent bookstores in America. What do you think of them apples, huh? Come on down, let's go to see John Hofstas at Treasure House Books. Well, here we are in the front window on the street in front of Treasure House Books. Now, John is expecting me because, after all, I do sell my novels rather well here at Treasure House Books. Come on inside. Oh, by the way, can you see my book in the front window? A Dream of Every Author. Hey, John, how's it going? We are officially in Treasure House Books. And it bears saying again, one of the top independent bookstores in Albuquerque. If you haven't been here, why not? My book is over there on the shelf. Well, folks, back in the spring, John Hofstas and I held an excellent Zoom conversation. And now the time has come for us to revisit some of those highlights. Join me.
And hello, everyone. This is John Hofstas from Treasure House Books and Gifts again, and today we're talking with author Ronn Perea. Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Johnny H., how do you do, buddy?
Doing well, man. Ron is the author, certainly most recently, several books, but his most recent book is Elsie and Elsa, and it has a lot to do with New Mexico history, something that Ron holds near and dear to his heart. So tell us real briefly about what Elsie and Elsa is about.
It are a couple of Albuquerque High School girls who graduated Albuquerque High in 1943. They go off to LA. They're sweet, demure, never had a bad word among them. Then go off to work as Rosie the Riveters. They come home after the war, cussing and a smoking and a drinking, and then all of the history of international caliber hits them around them, surrounds them, breathes in, and they're not aware of it. And that's how I write in all of the international historical events from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And it's an enjoyable read, if I may say so myself.
And these are things that happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Legitimate historical events from California to Italia,
okay.
Florence, Italia. But in the center, we are, and that's where the concentration is. Bataan Death March, the Hamburger Hill in Vietnam. Of course, our buddies down at the UFO, we have to talk about him, our cousins.
Sure.
And all the that event happened in '57 where the U.S. Air Force accidentally dropped a thermonuclear warhead 2 miles south of Albuquerque. How about the minute-by-minute account of how that went down? Or cool. Most of you, if you haven't heard of that TWA that slammed into the Sandia Mountains in '55. By coincidence, though, I also include what happened there, same spot in 1960, when Kirk Douglas filmed his excellent hit, and I got to tell you, it was his favorite all his life. He said, "Lonely are the brave."
Right.
And then 5 years later, they would build a tram over it.
Right.
And if you go there today, what still sticks out of the mountain? The tail end of that plane.
There's still some of the wreckage up there. Yeah.
Or how about when JFK partied in Albuquerque with a couple of his Hollywood friends? Or how about the end of the '60s when an international rock and roll sex guy came out of this town?
And who might that be?
Read the book to find out.
No. Okay. You can probably figure it out by showing the cover. Gee, I wonder who that might be.
Who is that?
Yeah, there you go.
See, that's cool. My cousin right there.
Yeah, yep. The strong family resemblance, right?
You could tell. A lot of green chili went into that guy.
Yeah.
And so we were holding an excellent conversation when he asked me a one-word question. Why? Why would I write about Albuquerque history? Let's recall what I said.
All of a sudden, we have this book that's just steeped in history. What happened? How did you decide to do a book that was all about Albuquerque history?
Well, because I'm a history nut. And I was, listen, man, I'm going to tell you exactly. My pop went through what I just told you he went through. That story had to be told. And then, how long have we been living in this town with international rock and roll sex guy? How many people knew about the plane that slammed into the Sandia Mountains? How many people knew about the nuclear bomb?
Right.
How many people knew that this town was a home base where the initial Mercury 7 astronauts had their loveless medicals?
Medical
And how many-
exams, yeah.
And then that's the 50s and 60s. How about all of these things linked together? And
Right.
it just so happens that my grandma was a chef at the old Alvarado Hotel in 1922 as a Harvey girl.
Uh-huh.
Got older, so her prettiness doesn't help sell waitresses, so she converted as a chef. And so that she was so good at it that they hired her when they built this new hotel at downtown on 2nd Street called Hilton Hotel.
Right.
And worked elbow to elbow with Conrad himself. So I remember her telling me about how she would serve Conrad's fiance, Jaja.
Oh boy.
I had to write about that. And how when she was at the Alvarado, she was hired to do a catering job for the hotel at the old Chemo Theater, for the old Albuquerque Little Theater, performing a show at the Chemo Theater.
Uh-huh.
And who was the star of this show?
Who?
An actress by the name of Vivian Jones. She left Albuquerque to go to Broadway. She changed her name to Vivian Vance.
Vance. Sure.
And so I had to write that in, firsthand experience. And all these things personally happened to my family. So
Fantastic.
who had to write it in?
Yeah.
So you asked me where I got all these stories? Straight from the horse's mouth.
Straight. That's awesome. Well, Ron, I do appreciate it, and it's always good to see you. You look well. You've got the whole city behind you there. It looks amazing.
I only have one more thing to say, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. And I think pretty quick here, Ron Perea has left the building, so to speak.
Hey, did you know that saying started in Albuquerque?
No, I did not know.
When he performed at Tingley Coliseum on April 22nd, 1972.
Wow.
And I tell that story. Well, the question still is, why did I write about New Mexico history? I had to. It was in my blood. My family participated in it. So I had to brag, so to speak. But also, I strongly feel that the people that come along today have to know what came before them. And if it's not documented, where else are they going to get the referral? That was my logic. Let's go get a book. Well, now I got to go over to the bookshelf. What a labor. There it is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, highlights of the war in the Pacific, the night JFK came to town. Remember that rock and roller, Jim Morrison? Albuquerque boy. And a whole bunch of other stories that you got to know about if you're going to live in this town. And besides, the next generation has to learn from you. Where else are they going to learn it? So these are some of the reasons why I wrote this book, infamously called Elsie and Elsa. We are very proud of our YouTube channels. We're calling it edutainment. A little bit of education along with a lot of entertainment. Come on, check it out because it'll tell highlights, little vignettes of each of the chapters in the novel. If you want to have some fun, it's a great way to kick back and get educated. We want to strongly invite you. Come on down. So far, some of the videos that we've done are the night JFK partied in Albuquerque with a couple of his Hollywood friends. Or how about how the Russians stole the atomic bomb secrets right here in Albuquerque? Or how about the U.S. Air Force accidentally dropped a thermonuclear warhead down south of a little bit south of the Curlin Air Force Base? And a whole bunch of variety of other shots. I'm pretty partial to the Harvey Girls story, a little bit about the Alvarado Hotel, or even about Rosie the Riveters. Elsie and Elsa were Rosie the Riveters during World War II. Check it out. You'll enjoy tremendously. And information that you'll be able to pass down to your next generation. Fact.
Ron, you know, I've watched some of your videos on YouTube, and you cover a lot of various topics in Albuquerque history, and I was just wondering what you had planned as far as topics for the future.
And John, thank you for that question. What of our more upcoming recent YouTube projects? Well, how about the 3 Hollywood blockbusters that were shot here in Albuquerque during the 60s? Or the night Elvis played Albuquerque? Or June 6th, 1971, the largest anti-Vietnam War riot in America happened right here, lasted a whole week. Those plus many, many more are coming your way. Stay tuned. Tune into our YouTube channel. History of New Mexico by Ronn Perea. And one of the main questions that people ask me all the time is more about me, the author. Well, I am a baseball enthusiast. My next novel is a baseball book, and how America's sideline migrated to Albuquerque after the Civil War. And it's not about the star home run hitter. It's not about the star pitcher. But when's the last time you ever heard a story about the star umpire? Oh, and another thing you want to know is I am a docent. That is a professionally trained tour guide in museums. Currently at the Wheels Museum. If you haven't heard of the Wheels Museum, that is located over there south of the rail yards, consisting of the various modes of transportation that crisscross the Southwest since the conquistadors, including a conquistador ox cart and all the various kinds of wheels that have crisscrossed. You'd love it, especially for the kids, because a lot of railroad and train models, you'd love it. I'm training tour guides, so if any of you like being a museum tour guide, come talk to me. Hello kids, are you ready for educational entertainment or edutainment? You'll be surprised how entertainment history can be. Elsie and Elsa, a historical novel about the mid-30 years of the 20th century, reveals all the historical events that occurred right here in the great American Southwest that you never even heard about. Well, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I want you to pick up my novel there at Treasure House Books. They need your business. And I want you to say hello to John Hofstas for me. The book is specially priced just for Christmas, so come in and pick one up. They're going to be open Thursday through Sunday, noon to 4 p.m. What a great place to support the local economy and edutainment. You're going to love this book. I want you to pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ronn Perea. Thank you very much for putting up with me. Have a good day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm author Ronn Perea. I am a historical fiction author. My inspiration was the great Greek historian Historius, because my book, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and all of the international historical events that occurred that nobody knows about. If you pick up this novel, it goes to supporting Treasure House Books, right across the street from San Felipe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down.